Good morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the support and resistance levels. It is Monday the 20th of July. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the dollar and the hourly candlestick, it's been a mixed start to the day, with Bitcoin pulling back through the pivot at 92.14 early on. Going to need to move back through the pivot to support a run at the first major resistance level at 93.16. Going to see support from that broader market, however, to break out from yesterday's high 92.99, resistance at 9,300 proving to be telling yesterday. Failure to break back through the pivot, we're going to see that first major support level sitting at 91.29 come into play. Barring an extended sell-off, should see the second major support level at 90.26 limit the downside. Looking at the moving averages, we're seeing the 50 narrow against the 100 and the 200, with a 50 possible crossover over the 100 suggesting a breakout. So a move back through the pivot would support a run at 9,300 and beyond. MACD seeing a slight narrowing of the histograms, which has been reflective of that bearish morning. So again, monitoring the EMA early on and the pivot level will be key. Moving across to EOS against the dollar and the daily candlesticks, again, mixed start to the day. Going to need to see EOS avoid the pivot 55.72 to support a run at this first major resistance level 64.31. Going to see broad-based crypto rally, however, for EOS to break out from yesterday's high 61.32. Fall through the pivot at 55.72 would bring the first major support level, seeing at 50.13 into play. Should see EOS continue to avoid sub 245s. Second major support level sits at 41.54. Looking at the moving averages, we've seen a bullish crossover of the 50 on the 100 and the 50s narrowing against the 200, suggesting a breakout on the day. Narrowing of the MACD histograms, but nothing to suggest a reversal, so key on the day will be avoiding the pivot level at 55.72. Moving across to Ethereum against the dollar, mixed start to the day as well. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 237.50 to support a run of this first major resistance level at 241.69. Support from the broader market, however, to break out from yesterday's high 240. Barring extended rally, that first major resistance level should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level 234.97 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, we continue to expect Ethereum to avoid sub 230s. Second major support level sits at 230.76. Looking at the moving averages, we're seeing a possible bullish crossover of the 50 over the 100 and a narrowing against the 200, suggesting a breakout on the day. Slight narrowing of the bullish histograms on the MACD, but nothing to suggest a reversal. So avoiding the pivot should bring 240s and that first major resistance level into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the dollar, it's been a bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through that pivot at 1994 to support a run on the first major resistance level at 2027. Support from the broader market to break out from yesterday's high 20.232. Failure to break back through the pivot would bring that first major support level at 1965 into play. Expect Ripple's XRP to avoid sub 19s. Got the second major support level set at 1932 to limit any downside. Looking at the moving averages, 50s widening from the 100 and the 200, suggesting a possible breakout. So we are seeing a possible bearish crossover on the MACD. So a move through the pivot at 1994 would be key to support a breakout on the day.